Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have been talking about doing this video for quite a while now, and I'm finally ready to film it. And it is my cream / liquid highlight collection video. I'm not only going to show you my collection, but I'm also going to tell you why I like it, who it may be best for, depending on how much shine you like, depending on if you like a more tacky feeling or if you want it to dry down to a powder finish. Do you want to be seen from space or do you want it to be a little more subtle, right? There's like different reasons to choose a highlight. So I'm going to go over all of those reasons. I had mentioned in my April favorites video that I had been reaching for cream / liquid highlights over powders 95% of the time for the past at least couple months, if not longer than that. And I honestly don't see it changing anytime soon. Am I completely giving up powder highlights? No, absolutely not. I have so many favorites. I love using powder highlights on my eyes as eyeshadows. It's what I did today. So for that reason alone, I will keep my powder highlight collection, but I'm not giving up using powders. It's just as I get older, I appreciate the texture of a cream and liquid on my skin. So I have tried to put these kind of into categories. I also mentioned in my April favorites video that probably one of my biggest pet peeves in the industry that I'm in, not only on YouTube, but also as a makeup artist, is the fact that people have been told in some form or fashion that there are hard and fast rules to makeup, especially when it comes to age. That once you reach a certain age, you should not wear shimmer on your eyes. It'll just enhance things you don't want enhanced. You should not use a highlight because, again, it's just going to enhance things you don't want to enhance. Well, how do you know what I want enhanced? Maybe I don't care if everybody sees my wrinkles. I am going to wear what I want to wear, and I feel like everybody should go with that mantra. Even if you are not a highlight person, maybe you clicked on this video just because you were curious, I hope that you leave with some kind of idea of a highlight to try to give you that really fresh, glowy look that highlights give in a formula that is perfect for you. So let's go ahead and get started. I actually do not have a highlight on my face right now, so let's rectify that at the very beginning of this video. And I am going to start out with my collection of ones that maybe stay a little bit more tacky. Now, I know probably nobody is going to be like, oh, please sign me up. I'm only looking for tacky highlights. I understand that. But the tacky highlights do tend to give more of that glass skin look. And someone like me, I don't mind having that texture on my face. You know, occasionally if the wind blows, the hair might get stuck in it. I just move it. It's not that big of a deal. I know there are some people who don't like that, but if you don't mind and you do like that super glass skin look, this is the category that you're going to want to look at. So let's start out with the Merit Day Glow Dewy Highlighting Balm. Now, up until this week, they have only had 2 shades. They just came out with another one. At least that's what I saw on an email that I got today. And I'm very excited to try that one. It's more of like a warm gold shade. But I have the shade Bounce, which is the rose gold. Some of these you may not even be able to see, but oh, the shine. See what I mean with the more, and tacky is such a negative connotation, but it doesn't dry down. With those kind of formulas, the amount of shine you get with them is insane. And then Cava was the first one that I fell in love with, and this is a champagne. So hopefully you'll be able to see how Cava right here is just a little bit lighter than Bounce, that rose gold. But it is that same glorious formula. So what I do, how I apply, and the reason I didn't want to put on any highlight until I got on here was to show you how I like to apply it. I am not a fan of painting a stripe on the face with any of my cream highlights, especially when they come in stick or wand form. I much prefer to apply it with my fingers first. So I take my ring finger and my middle finger and I kind of paint a little bit of the product on there, and then I will just go and tap it onto the high points of my cheeks. Now, when I use cream highlights, I tend to go down a little bit farther on my cheeks, which I'm okay with. I kind of like the fact that when I'm looking straight on, you can still see a little bit of that highlight. And then I will take, you know, the hand that doesn't have any product on it and continue to blend it out. But that is what gives this just wet, glassy skin look. This has no discernible shimmer in it. If you do not like glitter on your face, which I'm not gonna lie, some of these have that I'm gonna show you, these are great options. They wear really well throughout the day. I always apply them over powder. In fact, all of these that I'm going to talk about, I apply over powder with no issues whatsoever. But I don't find that because they're not set and because they are a cream, I don't find that they wear off throughout the day. Before I wash my face at night, they are still there, shining bright. This is another one from Persona Cosmetics. Now, if I have done a specific look featuring one of these, I will put them up in a card because I did with this one. This is just called their Highlight Multi-Stick in Gold. Now, when you first see it, you're like, oh my goodness, that's like brown. See, it just doesn't look like other highlighting sticks I've had in my collection. But it is almost translucent and it just gives this super wet appearance. And when I say wet, I'm not like dripping water on your face, but just that, you know, like sometimes I feel my best after I work out because I've sweated a little bit. I just have this really nice glow to my face. And that's kind of like what I mean when I say like a wet appearance. But see, this to me is the one that I feel like out of all the ones I'm going to talk about will work on every single skin tone because it truly is, I mean, it's like clear. As clear as a highlight stick can be. It's just going to give you a shine. It's not really producing a color despite the fact that the name is gold. Now, when you look at this, you're going to see shimmer in the product. However, when I apply it to my skin, I do not find that that's the case at all. I don't find it transfers on me as shimmer. I don't see particles on my face or anything like that. So if you want something that you're just not going to have to think about the shade of it, if it's going to work for your skin tone, but you just want that literal glass skin. And again, check out that video if you haven't seen it where I use this because you'll see how insanely gorgeous this is on the skin. So that's the Persona Highlight Multi-Stick in Gold. Now this one does have the shimmer particles in it. So definitely be aware of that. This is the highlighting stick from Westman Atelier in the shade Nectar. Love the packaging. Love the shade. Now, in powder highlights, you cannot get me to love a shade more than peach. It is my favorite shade of powder highlights. This is a peachier cream highlight, which I was like, oh, sign me up. Now, it doesn't really translate like a powder highlight would as peachy on the skin. See it right there? Like, it's one of those like very sheer, as far as color goes, products. However, while it is not insane in the amount of glitter it has in it, I do pick up particles reflecting off my skin when I use this product. And again, it's in the kind of stays tacky category. So this does not dry down to a powder, but because of that, it gives that just gorgeous wet look. So while I don't think the peach really comes off as much as I would like for it to, it's still a gorgeous highlight. This one was a little tricky. I wasn't quite sure which category to put it in because it applies tacky at first, but it dries down kinda. It's like in the middle. It doesn't dry down to a full powder on me, but it doesn't stay as tacky as some of the ones I've already talked about. And this is the Perez highlighter in vanilla highlighter in Falling Star. So I did a full face of Perez. I will put in a card, and I used this highlighter and it's beautiful. Now it is very hard pressed into the pan. So if you get this and you try to pick it up and you're wondering like why, to me, you really have to warm it up with the warmth of your skin on your finger. I mean, like really warm it up. But once you do, it's this gorgeous cream highlight that has a little bit of a pink undertone. Now they do have different shades in this, and I'm not quite sure how well it's going to come across on camera, but it does have a pinky champagne undertone to it. So if that is something that you like and you really like this high reflection, again, this is one that has absolutely no particles in it whatsoever. It just gives a really nice sheen to the face. And I'm telling you, powders in general are going to accentuate things you might not want accentuated. Let's be real. We all get our fine lines and wrinkles right in our crow's feet, especially the older that we get. And that is why a lot of people are like, well, I've been told not to wear highlight because, right, we put it on like the high points of our face, which can tend to overlap crow's feet and any fine lines and wrinkles we have in that area. I do find that creams are way more forgiving in that area than powders. So if you are someone that's been told not to wear it, if you do have those fine lines and wrinkles you don't want to accentuate, I would definitely go the cream liquid route before I went the powder. But if you want to wear powder, you wear that powder. Okay, I'm going to keep that Air Perez on because I want to kind of compare these two shades. This is from Elima Pure, and this is in the shade Element. This is a little bit darker. In fact, it looks way darker in the pan than it actually translates on the face. And even when I swatch, it's going to swatch darker, but I can still wear this. But I think it's going to help having that Air Perez up against it to be able to see what I'm talking about, hopefully. So on the top, that's Elima Pure. And then you got the Air Perez. So because it has that little bit of a darker hue to it, it doesn't have as much reflection. So if you're someone who's like, I just don't want to be seen from outer space, I want something a little more subtle, then definitely check out the Elima Pure. They have different shades. The Element one, again, while it looks dark in the pan, don't let it scare you if you have my skin tone because it totally works. It does not look muddy. It's beautiful. I will try to find a video where I used it so that you can see. And this one, I will say, dries down. It's kind of like the Air Perez. These are the two where I was like, I don't really know where to put it because it dries down to a semi-powder finish. It's not near as tacky as the sticks that I just showed. Okay, let's move on to liquid. Now, I only have 2 liquid highlights that aren't like liquid illuminator primer type things. I love the Osmosis as a liquid highlight. It's technically an illuminating primer. It can be used as a liquid highlight. That goes for any illuminating primer. If you have anything that's like glow primer, glow this, glow that, use it as a liquid highlight and I promise you, you're gonna like it. It's not just meant to be used as a primer. At least I feel like you can get way more uses out of it. But the 2 that I have and reach for the most are from Beauty Pie and Chantecaille. So I will put them both on the back of my hand together. This is the Triple Beauty Luminizing Wand. This is very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Luminizing Wand, which I do carry in my kit. And that was put in my kit. I've gone through a couple of them. My last kind of restock of it was put in my kit before I discovered this one. This is much more affordable and it works just as well as the Charlotte Tilbury. So when I run out of that one, I will be replacing it with this one. This is in the shade, I think it only has 1 shade. I want to say it's Champagne. It does come in the same kind of sponge applicator. I still like to put the product on my hand and then apply it with my fingers with these kind of applicators. But look at that. You're also going to get that high shine glassy look with liquid highlighters as well. Oh, so pretty. Now that's a heavy swatch. You can see the color differentiation on my skin. However, when I blend it out, it's not an issue. Like I'm not like, oh, look at the champagne stripe on my cheek. It's not like that. But, oh, it's so pretty. Now this Liquid Lumiere from Chantecaille is in the shade Sheen. They do have different shades of this. And this one's a little bit brighter than the Beauty Pie. So the Chantecaille is on this side. It has more of a pink undertone versus a more peachy champagne in the Beauty Pie. Again, neither one of them has shimmer. I find that the majority of the liquid illuminators that I use don't tend to have particles in them. I'm not saying that there aren't products on the market that do, but the ones that I have used so far don't. So if you're someone who doesn't even want to chance it, you don't want the particles on your face, then I would go with some kind of liquid illuminator because they tend to be a little bit better on that front. But that is the Beauty Pie and the Chantecaille. I also love liquid illuminators because just like you can use primers as liquid illuminators, I love the fact that you can use liquid illuminators as a primer mixed in with foundation. If you like to kind of layer a highlight underneath your foundation, I prefer to do that with liquid more than cream. If I'm putting it underneath, I find that it works better when I am blending other products on top of it. So if you're someone who likes to kind of underpaint with a highlight, I would definitely go with a liquid option. This one, I had no idea where to put it. I really didn't. This is the Western Atelier Super Loaded Tinted Highlight in Peau de Pêche. Now, I honestly got this when I first got it a while ago, thinking that it was going to be lighter than this in shade. This is a highlight that I do not use as a highlight. I will use this more as like a bronzer topper, or I will underpaint this in the areas that I like to highlight and bronze. And I've done that, I believe, on an Instagram post, a video that I posted quite a while ago, because there was a time where I loved to pair this with the Jane Iredale Beyond Matte. I would underpaint like all over my temple, all at my cheek where I put my highlight and my bronzer, and then I would put the Iredale on top of it, and it was just gorgeous. But again, this is a shade that I personally don't use for just a highlight, and I think you'll be able to tell why, because of the shade. So see how on my skin tone, it's just more of like a bronzer, a really pretty shimmery, sheeny bronzer. If you have a darker skin tone than me, gorgeous. Now, I will say, I had the Pot de Rosé. I got that as well. And I did not like that one as much at all because it had chunky glitter in it that really accentuated itself on my cheeks. And I'm not about that much glitter. So I actually sold that one, but this one does not have that. So keep that in mind when choosing a color. And again, I love it. I just don't use it as an actual highlight. Now, the last category is the cream to powder category. So these are the ones that absolutely don't get anything stuck in them. They dry down almost immediately to a powder on my skin, and they just wear beautifully all day long. So I am going to start out with 2 of them. Now, these are a little bit different because this is an actual skin illuminator. This one from Lila B is the Divine Duo Lip and Cheek. And I've been using this a lot. In fact, I just used it in my go-to look as a highlighter. I've been calling it a highlighter. It can be used as a highlighter. It's just not marketed as a specific skin illuminator like this one is. And they do have a tad bit of a different formula. Now, the Glisten and Glow Skin Illuminator and Be Enchanting from Lila B has been a favorite of mine for a very long time. These are very, very heavy, pebble-like compacts. But this is probably, this and one other one I'm gonna talk about is the most powder-like on the skin. They do have a couple of shades of this, but this one I love and works well. It's so much powder-like that when you swatch it, it doesn't even swatch well. It's kind of patchy when you swatch it. That's it right there. And it looks super white. Like it looks like, oh wow, that would be so noticeable on the skin, but I'm gonna do my best to find a video where I use this because I know there's multiple ones. I was on a kick where I used this every day for weeks on end and talked about it nonstop. It does not look that way on the skin, and it is so beautiful. So beautiful. I feel like this one is the one where I use it. This one and the Merit are the ones where every time I use it, I get complimented on my skin or my makeup. And I just have to believe that those being the 2 constants have something to do with it. Now, this one is the Be Dazzling Divine Duo Lip and Cheek. It is more of like a rose gold, and this is the mini. And y'all, I'm not kidding. I can see the side of the pan. I have used it so much lately. So definitely more of a rose gold pinky shade. Again, not something that swatches very well at all, but that's it right there. And hopefully it's coming across on the camera, the difference in shades. But if you watch this last video, you're gonna see that it does not come across as pink. I don't have a stripe of pink on my upper cheeks at all. It's just so pretty. Now, I mentioned the difference in the formulations. This one is more powdery on the skin than this one. This one stays a little bit tacky, but not near as tacky as that first category. This one is one of the Jane Iredale Glow Time highlighter sticks, and this is in the shade Eclipse. Now, I used Solstice, the last full face of Jane that I did last week, and I used that as an eye primer, which is another great way to use these products. But this one is my favorite out of all of those colors. And when I swatch this, you're gonna be like, what are you talking about? Because it is straight up yellow gold. I mean, look at that. But that is a very intense swatch. If I take it with my finger, pat it out, it does not look like a yellow stripe on the skin. Again, I will do my best to find a video. I may have used this more on Instagram than YouTube, but I will try to find where I used it because I don't want you looking at this shade online and being like, what in the world? No, I would never, because it is so pretty. Really pretty. I really like using this in the summer when I have a little bit more color on the skin and I really use a lot of warm tones. It just really plays all of that up. So that is Glow Time in Eclipse. And again, that one does dry down to more powder finish. I have 2 more to go. This one is the Lumi Firm from Fit Glow Beauty. And can we just talk about, I just love these little packages that they have their Lumi Sculpt, they have their blushes and their highlights. And this is their highlight. So the Lumi Firm highlight. And this is just, again, another really nice champagne shade. Now, again, if you are on the more subtle side of highlights, this is going to be one to look into because I can build it up, but it is very subtle and beautiful. I don't even know. I think you can see it right there. The only one I have on my hand. But see how subtle that is compared to a lot of the other ones that I have been swatching? It's gorgeous if you like a more powder finish, but you like the subtlety. So Zeus is about to go crazy. It's FedEx. And he always does this, but when Chad's out of town, he really does this. I'm surprised he's not right by my side. He's the best guard dog, but man, he's loud. And he sounds so mean. And trust me, FedEx and UPS cannot wait to get out of here when they drop stuff off because of his loud bark. Come here, buddy. Come here. You're okay. You're okay. Yes, you are. Yeah. They're gone. They're gone. Love you. Can you, oh, there's his nose. Yes. All right. And there he goes to make sure he's really gone. Anywho, back to your original programming. The Lumi Firm highlight is the one to go to if you like a subtle highlight. All right, one more to go, and that is the Clinique Chubby Stick Sculpting Highlight. I love this one, y'all. When I got it, I used it for like 2 weeks straight. It's so convenient. I love this packaging. I love stick highlighters. I just find that they're very easy to travel with. They're very easy to use. And again, this is one that if you want, you can stripe it on, but I like to apply it to the fingers and then apply. When you first look at it, it looks kind of pink in the component, but it is more of, I mean, I guess it has a pink undertone to it, but it blends out to just be this beautiful, like champagne gorgeousness. Love it so much. Again, no discernible shimmer, but it does dry down to more of a powder finish than the other ones I've talked about. So beautiful, beautiful Go Clinique. I love their Chubby Stick bronzer and blushes too. Okay, that completes it. Can you tell I love a good cream highlight and I want to have one for every occasion that I could possibly have one for. If I had to choose, because I know people are going to ask, my top 3 are the Merit, the Lila B, and the Clinique. But I love all of them because I have all of them. If I don't end up liking something, I will give it away to friends and family, or I'll sell it on Instagram or do something. But I have kept all of these because I love them and I have a purpose for each and every one. So hopefully that was helpful. I will, as always, have everything listed and linked down below. I do use affiliate links, so thank you if you choose to use those. If you have any questions, let me know, and let us know if you are also a cream and liquid highlight fan, what your favorite one is down in the comment section below. Thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. I hope you're all staying happy, healthy, and safe, and that most of all, you go out and have a very blessed day.